circles start nice and small, then they're getting bigger. Full rotation there, a few reps there, and then we're bringing that back down. And right there, we're going to start taking it backwards. Starting again, small, going big, coming back down. Really just getting through that full range of motion. Let's keep our arms out nice and wide. Start giving me those hamstrings, chest openers, chest, really focusing on opening, squeezing those shoulder blades together. That's helping us activate that full body from our knee, well, our toes up to our shoulders at least, focusing again on that knee flexion, that shoulder adduction and abduction. And bring it in from a butt kicks. I'm gonna have you guys start doing some high knees right there or marches, whichever one of those is what we're up to speed for right now. And spread those legs just a bit. Start giving me some squats, guys. And start giving me those calf raises right there up at the top. Again, we're getting ready for that full movement. We're going to do some quicker, some more strength-based movements, as well as some quicker, more plyometric-based movements. That's why we want to really incorporate those ankles. Now feel free to spread those legs for me just a bit. Give me some side shifts right there, guys. If we want to act it almost like it's that stationary side lunge where neither leg moves and we kind of just shift over coming up, that's okay, but staying down nice and low is going to get our glutes in there as well, get them nice and activated. And right there, guys, you're going to give me either some lunges, either some full speed, normal speed lunges, or some nice and slow ones, or you're going to give me some Spider-Man stretches. Again, holding each side for about 5 or 6 seconds before you switch over. That gives those of us doing our lunges some time here. But yeah, if we're going nice and quick, that's helping to get some blood flow going right back in to our lower body and back up to our heart. But if we're taking it nice and slow, we're still definitely getting that blood flow at least equally, but it's going to give us a little bit of a stretch as well. So what I should say is those normal speed lunges will get our heart going a little bit quicker, but those slower lunges are going to give us that stretch. So it's important just to mix in a few of those guys while you're at home. Right there, come on up. Give me those hip openers. And from there, take it opposite direction, outside in here, outside in. And right there, guys, quick break, grab us some water. We're going to be back right away with those heavy weights, going right in to some alternating shoulder press for us. While you guys are finishing up that drink, I'm just going to show you guys quickly what we want out of these shoulder presses is we don't want to lean off. We want to keep that entire torso nice and straight. focusing on keeping that, again, yeah, that torso nice and strong. That's our stabilizer while we're alternating, rather than having to reach up and over. That's our first activity. Off in 4, 3, 2, and begin. Again, alternating one arm at a time. If you find yourself with your hands all the way out here and that's comfortable, that's okay. We might get to feel it a little bit more in that lateral deltoid. But if we're ever feeling some pain, maybe a little bit of a catch up there, let's bring it in just to a 45-degree angle, not directly out in center, just that 45. Even for those of us who might not feel anything, that's still going to help us protect our shoulder a little bit. And as always, if we feel our spine overextending, just give us that staggered stance. Keep that spine nice and protected. Now I want everyone holding right here, almost have those arms out in parallel, like we're about to press, but we're just holding in that position. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're setting down those weights, guys, and we're going right into jumping jacks. Again, you're either giving me full jumping jacks or off to the side, but we're going to take use of that shoulder burn that we just kind of woken up. 3, 2, and begin. Regardless of whether or not we're doing full jumping jacks or side steps, I want us to focus on getting our legs as wide as possible, as comfortable, and getting those arms to a full range of motion or a full outreach. Again, just taking use of that full biomechanical energy that you guys have stored up in there. Nice time to get that out. Seeing if we can't ramp up the speed a little bit here, guys. Ramping up the speed while still going through that full range of motion. If we can, if we're comfortable with it. Less than 10 here, less than 10. We're picking up those weights again. 3, 2, and 1. Guys, we're picking up those weights. As we're doing it, make sure we're not picking up with our back. Pick up with those legs. You can either do kind of a lunge, squat, or a straight-legged deadlift, which is our next activity. We have 2 sets here, so you can do dual leg twice in a row or one leg, full set, and then we'll switch for that second set. That's our next activity. Going in 3, 2, and begin. If we're doing that dual leg, making sure our knees aren't coming in at all, still utilizing that stretch of the hamstrings and the glutes to come back up. And if we're doing that single leg, making sure that once we're down here, our hips aren't open too much, trying to keep everything nice and parallel with the ground. Of course, still using that stretch reflex to signal our return back up. 10 seconds for us, guys. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and quick transition over to that second side if necessary. Yep, if we're doing dual legs, we're continuing. 3, 2, and begin. Again, if we were doing that single leg, now we're switching on over to the other side, coming back up. If we ever start to feel our fatigue or coming in and affecting our balance here, feel free to tap that toe when we're coming back down, or even full setting it down while we're on that second leg. Otherwise, if we're able to continuously keep that leg up, continuously have to fire those hips, knee, and ankle stabilizers, which is really our big and our small muscles just working together in synergist, that's great too for us. But we got 10 seconds, guys, 10 seconds. And we're back to cranking up the speed a little bit. 3, 2, and go ahead, set those weights down, guys. We're going to take care. We're going to utilize that motion, speeding it up. We got windmills here. Similar movement. We're going to feel those hamstrings and those glutes start to stretch. That's our cue to come back up. Feel free to start slow and then pick up the speed, but you guys are with us right here. As you get used to understanding your range of motion in this more free form, that's when you can start cranking up the speed. I just don't want you guys going, trying to touch the ground too fast and end up putting more damage, more stress on the hamstrings than we want on the onset of this. So yeah, feel free to start slow and then start to crank it up as comfortable as needed and as, most importantly, able while we're going through. If you find yourself trying to continuously touch down to those legs and you can't, one thing you can do is bring those hands in and just reach with the elbows. Kind of takes our mind off of it if that was always a focus point for us. You guys are giving me 10 here, 10 seconds. 3, 2, and one more activity before we get our nice water break. You guys are just giving me either marches or high knees in 3, 2, or 1. If you want to start off with marches and just like those windmills, start to crank it up, that's okay too. But we're finishing off this activity. We got a nice little water break for us to get our heart rate back down into the next set of exercises. Halfway on this set, let's see if we can't speed it up just a little bit, speed it up a little bit while still getting that knee nice and high, getting that thigh almost parallel to the ground below. 5, 4, 3, 2, rest right there, guys. Grab me a drink of water. Back here in just a moment. While you guys are finishing up that drink, make sure our feet are still moving, whether that means we're walking or just picking them up in place. For our next set of activities, guys, we're just going to be squatting. You can utilize weights or not, but just some normal squats to get us back into these exercises. If you want to get some weights, we got about 10 seconds before we begin, so I'll let you guys make that decision. 5, 4, 3, 2, and squatting right here, guys. Making sure we're pressing through those heels, trying to get that full extension at the top, but not resting there with our knees locked out. Once we get that full extension, once we feel those glutes maximally contract, we're coming right back into that motion. In a moment here, guys, we're going to transition into some squat jumps, building from this movement, from a strength to that plyometric. What that's going to look like is just jump and catch. Again, this is when those toes, those ankles are going to be really important for a nice safe landing. But if we're not comfortable with that, you're giving me a squat, pulse at the bottom, up into that calf raise, squat, pulse at the bottom, calf raise. Starting that in 10 seconds here, guys. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I want you transitioning right in, guys. Rather giving me those jumps or pulse with a calf raise. If those jumps ever become a little too much for us, want to take a little bit of a break, feel free to come down to those pulses and those calf raises and vice versa. If we ever feel like we're ready to ramp it up a bit, feel free to start in those jumps at any moment. You guys are giving me 10 seconds here, 10 seconds on the jump. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right there, guys. You're shaking it out a bit. We're going to be on the wall here for one set. I'm improvising. I wasn't planning on this, but we're coming to the wall just to give us a little bit of a static hold here. In 3, 2, and begin. Wall sitting right here, guys. Pressing through those heels trying to get those thighs nice and parallel without those knees crossing over the toes. And of course, trying not to press through our thighs, keeping our back nice and flat. Arms off to the side, or you can give yourself some air curls as well. Three, two, come on up, guys. Come on up. Feel free to give me some water quick, guys. Feel free to give me some water quick. Again, this is when we want to keep moving. Feel free to get some quad stretches in there as well. Never a problem to stretch in between strength training exercises. But you guys are giving me those 3 activities right again, so you kind of know what's coming. So if we were doing squats with weights before and we're feeling that fatigue, don't utilize those weights. And honestly, we can take some rest at the top here. I'd rather have quality over quantity at any time. Those 3 activities again in 3, 2, and you guys are just giving me those squats. Again, you guys know yourselves best. If you know once those plyometrics come in or that static hold back here starts to come in, if you feel already in those squats, you need to take a little bit of a break, do a squat with a shakeout. That's okay too. Or just rest up here. But if we're resting up here, make sure our knees aren't locked, still getting that bend in. Shorter sets here, 4, 3, 2. We're going into those jumps here, guys. Again, shorter sets. So really feel like you can get into it a little bit more with those jumps, or still giving me those pulses with those calf raises. And I should say the first 2 sets are shorter sets. The wall sit, same length as before. Three, 2. Let's find ourselves on the wall, guys. Starting up here in 4, 3, 2, and sitting down right here, guys. Check that connect points. Try to see if we can't get our shoulders, low backs, and hips all into the wall while still keeping our form nice and down here. 10 seconds for us, guys. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on up. I'll give you guys a water break in a sec, but I want you guys down here in a position. We're going to be giving us some fast feet, just to get the blood flow going back into the legs. Going 3, 2, and just down here and get those feet going. Again, small contractions, just trying to waken up those muscles again. Not that they were sleeping, but just getting those movements in after those static contractions. 5, 4, 3, 2. Right there, guys. Grab me a drink of water. Back here in a moment. As you guys are still, we're not quite there yet, but you guys are still breathing. I'm just showing you guys that next activity is going to be some side lunges, which can be those dynamic ones, or we can have those feet planted and we're going back and forth. Up to you guys, depending on how much space you have. We're still breathing here. While we're breathing here, guys, making sure our feet are still moving. We can just be walking. We're just pedaling. A great time to take some deep breaths from down here. Get our breath nice and back. That's going to slow our heart rate, just preparing us for that next set, which will be starting here in 3, 2, and 1. Still trying to press through the heels, guys. Activate those glutes. especially after those plyometrics before. I'm sure the front of our legs are feeling most of the burn. So let's try to put some stress on that posterior chain. In 10 seconds, we're switching over to some skiers. That's in 5, 4, 3, 2, and skiers. Start slow. Make sure we get our balance first on one leg. And then once we know we're comfortable in that, feel free to extend the distance or increase the speed for those of us at home. Three, 2, and 1. Heading on down to the mat here, guys. Feel free to bring that water closer to us. We can take a sip on the transition. We just got some push-ups down here. Nothing special push-ups. Just some push-ups down here. Those can be normal push-ups. We're up like this on our knees. And if at any point we find ourselves struggling, let's go to our knees. And let's just do it on our own, down 8 count while we're at home, guys. But we're starting those in 3, 2, and begin. Again, if you were to fatigue at home, you can come down to those knees. Let's say you fatigue in form from regular push-ups to knee push-ups. Can't get much out of them from there. Just come on up, counting down on your own from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheat yourself on the way back up. And just doing those on your own count there, back at home. Less than 10 seconds for us here, guys. Less than 10. 3, 2, and 1. I want you guys to take a quick breather. Nice and quick breather, just so that we can transition ourselves over here. You guys are going to be giving me a set of bicycles here. Set of bicycles. We're going to start those in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. Slight crunch up, and then we're rotating over. Five, 4, 3, 2, and break there. Over, back to facing the mat. Last 2 activities, guys. We have a bird dog, alternating legs. So no holds here. Bird dog, 45 seconds. Opposite arm, opposite leg. You're joining me right here, guys. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Trying to get a straight line from that wrist down to that opposite ankle. Each time, squeezing those glutes, squeezing those shoulders to come on up. "15 seconds, 15 seconds. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and finishing us off, guys, here. 45 seconds in this plank position. I'm going to give us a 3, 2, 1, and go. And that's where we're going to start right there, guys. While we're there, guys, check that placement. Making sure we got a straight line from our shoulders to our hips to our ankles, with maybe our hips being a little bit higher. That's our first 15 for us. Last 15, guys, here. Check that form. Make sure our hips haven't gone too high or too low there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Break right there, you guys. This is where I want you guys to grab that water, put it next to you, take a couple sips. While you're doing that, you're just going to find yourself in this Spider-Man pose, just stretching out those hip flexors a little bit. From this point on, guys, really, really trying to bring down that heart rate, focusing on breathing below the diaphragm, trying to fill up that stomach area rather than expanding at the chest. Just take a moment. If you feel yourself breathing here, try to calm yourself down, redirect, expand right here. That's going to help teach our nervous system that we're ready to get out of that fight and flight mode and back into that relaxation, ready for the rest of our day mode. Right there, I'm going to have you guys switch over. Same thing, other leg with that Spider-Man stretch. And right there, guys, come on down to the mat. Let's give me that V stretch straight down in the middle. Reach on over to our left side for us. Off to the right. Let's place one foot out in front, crossing that leg over, squeezing in that glute right here, or even twisting for those of us at home who like a little bit of a spinal twist in with this stretch as well. And switch it on over. Same thing, guys. Other leg, bringing in that glute stretch for us. Right there, guys. We're going to go ahead, stand down up. Take this opportunity to just fold on over, stretching out those hamstrings, letting that spine flex and elongate. That's more than okay. And right there, I'm going to have you guys extend that spine first, extend through the hips. We're going to find ourselves on a wall, giving ourselves a nice chest stretch for those push-ups. And right there, rotate on over for me. Other side, the same thing. One thing we can always try with these chest stretches is try different angles of the arm. Sometimes I might attack a different tightness for one of our three chest, upper, middle, and lower fibers. But first, I'm going to have you guys come on off. Four-way neck here. We're going to dip our chins into our chest and focus on stretching the back of our neck. Raise it up. Same thing, opposite direction. Tilt that chin up towards the sky. Head goes back, front of our necks. Return to center for me, guys. One ear, same side shoulder, sides of our neck. And raise it up for me, guys. Same thing, other side.